She wanted to ruin her adopted daughter's life, so she married her off to a beggar from the street. But she never imagined that this man in ragged clothes was actually the true heir of the most powerful family in that land. The story takes place in a remote town in Georgia, USA. Michael and his wife Linda were once a couple everyone envied. Michael was a well-known businessman in the area, and their marriage seemed perfect, except for one regret: they could never have children. Later, they adopted an orphan girl and named her Emma. From the moment Emma entered the house, it finally began to feel like a real family. But no one expected that just 1 year after adopting her, Linda would become pregnant and give birth to twin daughters, Sophie and Chloe. From that day on, everything changed. Linda began favoring her biological daughters, and Emma slowly changed from a daughter into a servant. She was not allowed to sit at the table to eat. She could only serve food, clean, and work. The dirtiest and hardest chores in the house all fell on her. Meanwhile, the twins cared only about dressing up and admiring themselves in mirrors, treating Emma like an outsider. The only person who truly protected Emma was Michael. He always believed Emma had brought blessings into the house, but fate did not leave her kindness for long. When Emma was 16, Michael suddenly died of illness. From that day on, Emma lost the last person who had protected her. Linda stopped pretending. She kept telling her two daughters again and again, "Emma is not your family. She was just picked up and brought here." Little by little, the twins began bullying her together, but Emma never fought back, because in her heart, this was still the only home she had. Day after day passed, and Emma turned 20, but her fate still had not changed. She was always the first to wake up and the last to rest. She did everything in silence and never complained. She kept telling herself that if she truly gave everything to this family, one day she would finally be seen. But she was wrong. Linda hated her more and more. Especially when men came to ask for Emma's hand, Linda always found a way to drive them away, because she would never allow Emma to live better than her biological daughters. Then one day, Emma went to the market. A wealthy young man from New York saw her there and was drawn to her at first sight. He even followed her all the way home. Emma stopped and asked him cautiously, "Why are you following me?" The man looked at her seriously and said, "Because you're not like other women. Your life is clearly hard, but your eyes are still pure. I want to marry you." Hearing voices outside, Linda rushed out at once. The moment she saw how well-dressed and refined he was, her whole expression changed. She became warm and welcoming and quickly pushed her two daughters forward. But the man said plainly, "The one I want to marry is Emma." Those words stabbed Linda like a knife. She lied on the spot. "Emma is already engaged. She's getting married next week." She would rather destroy Emma than let her marry a rich man. The man fell silent for a moment, then said, "If she's getting married next week, then I'll marry one of your other daughters." Linda agreed immediately. But after the excitement passed, she suddenly realized something. If Emma had no wedding next week, her lie would be exposed at once. She panicked. To save this marriage arrangement, she decided that no matter who it was, Emma had to be married off immediately. Then Chloe suddenly thought of someone. She said she had seen a filthy poor man on the road a few days earlier, someone who looked like a beggar. A man like that would never refuse if we offered him a wife. The moment Linda heard that, she told her to bring him. Not long after, Chloe really brought the man back. His clothes were torn, his body was covered in dust, and he stood in the doorway looking like a complete pauper. Linda looked at him with disgust, but she didn't care anymore. She only wanted to get rid of Emma as fast as possible. The man calmly introduced himself. His name was Noah. Linda did not even bother pretending to be polite. She went straight to the point. "Are you willing to marry Emma?" Then she called Emma out. The moment Noah lifted his head and saw Emma, he froze. And Emma, unwilling to disobey the arrangement of this family, could only bow her head and agree. A week later, 2 weddings were held at the same time. One was Chloe marrying the rich man, and the other was Emma marrying the beggar Noah. After the wedding, Emma followed Noah home. That place could hardly be called a home. It was old, cramped, empty, and there was almost nothing decent inside. But Emma did not complain once. She rolled up her sleeves and cleaned, organized, and repaired everything with her own hands, little by little turning that broken place into a real home. Noah watched all of this and loved her more each day. And Emma could see that although this man was poor, he respected her more than anyone she had ever known. So she always tried to find ways to make him smile. 3 months later, Noah suddenly said to her in a low voice, "Emma, sit down. There's something I can't keep from you any longer. If you want part 2, comment part 2.